Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Season 1 Revival League playoffs. My name is Retro, and I'm joined here by my really good friend and co-caster, Ultra. Ultra, how you doing? You ready for this match?
Yeah, I'm very ready for this match. I'm also hyped because I've seen one of the teams play and I've played against the other one, so I've got some inside info about both of them.
Ooh,
Yeah.
um, can't wait to get more of that info. For those who don't know, this is the fifth place decider for these two teams, meaning that the winner of tonight's match will be given the fifth place in the league, not the league, in the playoffs. And the other team will be getting a commiserating sixth place. Neither team can advance any further. Um, and it is very, very exciting to see these two teams play. We have Chalet ahead of us, then followed by Clubhouse and Oregon if we get to it on map 3. But without further ado, let's talk about Chalet and let's talk about these bands. Walk me through these bands so far, Ultra. What are your thoughts on the bands that we see?
So, as you said, we're playing on Chalet, and the first map we see is Flores coming out from Team Eternity. Flores is probably going to be used out to get to clear out shields for power positions. For example, if they go bar, they will definitely have someone playing on top blue and on the mezzanine area, where they use shields for both of these places. And Flores is going to be used for that, whereas Thatcher is going to was going to be accompanied by the Flores and will try to get rid of the ADSs, but now there's none of them are available, so the attacking team must find a new way to clear the shields out. Now, following up, we have the Azami. Azami is a great operator for this map because she can make a lot of improvised angles using her gadget, and she can be really overpowered. But sadly, we won't be getting to see her this much. And lastly, we have the ban of the Solis, which is basically the most common ban for defense at this point. We've talked about her in other broadcasts as well. She can see everything through walls as long as it is powered by electricity, and she can be used in various scenarios. But most importantly, she can see the planter from a whole different floor, either below or above it, and that can be really helpful in order to deny the planter.
Yes, it can be helpful in denying the planter, but it is also very useful in denying information. Information is key in Siege, and losing those drones and not being able to spot out the remaining defenders when you're already running out of time can be a real challenge. So there goes another reason for the Solus ban. But the first round is a go, and the defense will be on basement, which is quite unusual. It tends to be the one of the least favorite sites for most teams. And the first pick is already up. There goes across, maybe taking care of Wolf. I'm not even sure where that was. I think that was
That was in the library, I'm pretty sure.
that was in the library. It might have been a wall bang or a window bang, but they are doing their best to clear out the rest of these roamers that would be Diddy's. And Gloria is trying to still hold off the attack. So far unsuccessful as they are being pushed away and pushed back all the way down to the mid floor, where they are still being pinged by the Jackal and still being attacked from these vertical angles made by Matt Mac on the Buck.
Yeah, as we can see, the Pack and the Jackal are both clearing out any roamers left on the middle floor, since the side is bottom floor. Now, a negative thing is that both of Valkyrie Valkyrie and Alba are playing in West Main, and they can get caught up just like that by the vertical angles at the same time, and that's almost what happened. But Alaba kind of got away with it. They still know where the position of her is, but they don't know where exactly she is. That's a beautiful shot from the Warden onto the ace, denying any further breach that can happen. And at the same time, Alibi falls back into the side. Now, in an active 2v4, Eternity don't have the upper hand, but they have a lot of time to deal with, and that makes their position even worse. Now, slowly, the attackers are taking control over the middle floor, and they will eventually try to pinch both of the remaining defending players.
Yes. The good thing here for Eternity is that they don't have a remaining hard breacher left on the attacking side. it might not even matter as Mac picks up Greasy, and there goes Mr. Gunter to pick up a Glorious, and that round is over. I do think that might be a little bit with the way that Eternity were spread out. I think maybe they spread themselves a little too thin by roaming so much. But also picking that basement floor to defend onto first and going back to it now, or maybe switching off of it actually, that probably is what hurt them, since that is not a favored site. Do you agree, Ultra?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's been proven that the bottom floor is the most hated side for most of the teams, and that's mostly because the vertical control can be established very quick, and the defenders don't have a lot of ways to rotate to the upper floor, especially in the late round. Every single way to rotate will be covered by a different attacker, so cross angles will be held, and they will just be stuck in sides, just stacking up one upon another, and they won't be able to do anything. And that's basically what happened there. I mean, Valkyrie and Alibi tried to take some control by playing into in West Main, but they were just basically lining up with each other, and they eventually died. That's pretty much it. The vertical angles are very good and very powerful. If the back or the sledge manage to get them, the defenders won't have anywhere to rotate around them.
Eternity are going to the bar gaming side, and here we see the shield placement that you talked about when you talked about the importance of Flores and Thatcher on the attack. I'm very curious about the Amaru pick from Voltage.
Oh, I just noticed as well.
Yeah, and across maybe the Amaru has already made their way inside of Piano. This could be a very, very fast-paced push if they play their cards right. Across maybe already challenging onto these angles, onto Library, not doing any damage there. I do believe that was Greasy inside of Library.
They don't know that the Keiko is from below, and they will try to find it, but they don't at the start of the round, I'm pretty sure, but they seem to have forgotten it, and now they're trying to find where it is. That is definitely stalling a lot of time from the attacking team. Now, a gunfight taking place in the Piano area while the Amari kills the Jaeger. That's Across Baby with a kill onto Didis, and already made it a 5v4 for the attackers. Very powerful and very quick.
Yeah, that was a flank attempt there from Didis, and it nearly worked out. I mean, Mr. Gunter is on very, very low HP from that flank, but unfortunately he did get caught out trying to rotate away and wasn't able to complete the flank. But 90 seconds have already been wasted, and they still haven't cleared out that shield or Library or that chimney position. So this is going to be the crucial moment for Voltage to try and actually win this round, as Greasy picks up a down onto Mr. Gunter, and a lot of that utility is still deployed. It's Across Baby up these Library stairs to pick up the kill onto Greasy, and this defense is starting to fumble. Wolf picks up a kill onto Across Baby, finally getting the trade. And
now in a 3v4, so he tries to rotate a bit and try to get another kill, but in the action of that, Sophia picks him instead, while Glorious gets a kill onto Noise, but gets instantly traded by the Yana of Mr. Gunter, and now Emitter staying in a 1v3, tries to rotate around, but there's really not much that he can do. They don't seem to be aware of him flanking the blue stairs though, and that may be a free kill onto the Sophia. And it is. Now rotating once again, making it a 1v2, could be a bit easier for him to turn this car around. He goes up the main stairs, hoping to find the guy that will try to drop from there, but Dokkaebi changes her mind and drops from Library Huts instead. Now his ankle being held by the Yana of Mr. Gunter once again. He will not try to take the gunfight yet, but the plan will go down and it will force him to do so. Yana spotting him down and getting a beautiful kill onto him.
Yeah, that was a great attempt there from the smoke to try and clutch that round, but of course being in a 1 versus 2, even with the HP advantage, with that plant down, pretty much leaves you with very, very little options. And Voltage Gaming pick up the second round in a row and set themselves up on a really, really good run so far in this matchup.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, as we said the other day as well, it's still very early to distinguish any winners. Obviously, everything can go wrong and everything can go right. So we're just hoping to have a great game. Now, by the looks of it, Eternity are choosing to go on the same side again. They might change the strat a bit. From what I see, the ADS is on a different position, and I'm pretty sure that the players will play in different positions as well. But it looks... We don't know how it looks yet, actually, so we're just waiting to see. The attackers are bringing the Amaru once again. Do you think they're gonna do the same thing as they did last time?
I think they might. I mean, bringing that Amaru and going straight into the Solarium windows does it clear up a lot of the map very, very early on. I mean, Across maybe had map control over the entire northern side of the map with, what, 10 seconds into the round? And it looks like he's doing exactly that, but this time predicted by Diddy's picks up the kill, and it's 5 versus 4 for Eternity already. As I said, Across maybe last time, with only 10 seconds into the round, managed to have that map control. This time, Eternity with 10 seconds to go. 10 seconds in the round, pick up the first kill, and it's Mr. Gunter to pick up the trade onto Diddy's. They've equalized the man count at 4 versus 4 with 30 seconds or so gone.
There doesn't seem to be any wall denial on the office walls this time, so they will probably be able to clear out the shield easier this time. Now, as we can see, they have very similar positions, but this time they have the Frost with a 1.5 and the stable gun instead of a TCG, which means that she might be able to pick up a couple of kills easier. At the same, in the meanwhile, Emitter gets a kill onto Mr. Gunter with a C4, making it a 4v3 for Team Eternity.
Making it a 4v3, but more importantly, that is the Iana gone. Her clones, but more importantly, her nades gone as well. That will make that shield stick around there, especially as both of the impact charges from the Zofia are also gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure both of the shields are still up. Was it a second shield? No, actually, I might be mistaken there. But the blue shield is definitely up and is obviously putting pressure onto the attackers, while A Glorious gets a kill onto Joe. And Greasy Master follows it up by getting a kill onto Mr. Matmac, and now the Hibana left alone with no utility to be able to utilize anything. They don't seem to be aware of the Wamai being injured there, so he's probably going to get revived. Now Hibana's stuck in office, trying to maybe navigate herself around the map, but there's nothing more that you can do except from just talking to your team and figuring what you did wrong that round.
Yes, and now with 45 seconds left to go, this is a lot of work for Noisy to do, especially on very low HP and against 4 defenders. I think this is probably going to be a moment for the team to discuss, what to do in the following round, while Noisy tries to pick up a kill or 2. And there goes Greasy to pick up the final kill. Eternity take their first round here on round 3.
The most important thing that we picked up from this round is that don't do the exact same thing twice in a row. It's probably not going to work out, and the Jaeger or Diddy's getting the kill onto the Amaru last round is the perfect example. And let's just say that so far this was the first round that Eternity got the opening kill, and it really worked out for them. They only lost a second body on the last 30 seconds of the round when it was already a 4v1. So they had nothing to worry about. And yeah, like if they keep up like that, they can definitely turn the score around. They're doing great right now. And they choose to go kitchen, which is very much a more similar defense to bar than it would be if you went upstairs or the bottom floor.
Yes, it definitely is very, very similar, considering that you have to hold that top floor. We saw Eternity play almost exclusively on the upper floor both times that they picked that site. And that's pretty much the only way that you can really hold on to that site. If you don't hold on to top floor, best believe that your opponents will, so you have to hold on to it for as long as possible. And kitchen runs in much the same way, where you have to hold on to the office, but more importantly, the bedroom for as long as possible to allow the attackers as little control as possible. There tends to be a sort of a divider between teams. A lot of teams that choose to completely reinforce that bedroom wall that we just saw. We see the Eternity are choosing to reinforce only one side of it and make a rotate and some head holes in the other end of it, which of course allows them more control onto Office, while those castle barricades waste time and utility from Voltage.
Yeah, personally, I love the addition of the castle there. Wow, our Cross Baby is very quick to find a kill onto Z-Wolf, and that's the Thorn taken off the board. She doesn't have any more utility to actually use at the point, so it's not the worst pick that they could have. But don't forget that there's still a lot of utility that they need to clear out in order to push. As you said, the castle he's very strong, and there's Capcom traps at the same time. So you really need to be careful when you try to check for them, because you can be unaware of a defender being in that position, clearing you out. Now, wow, that was a close gunfight from Mr. Mac onto Didis, while two people from Voltage Gaming get removed from the game. Is that a technical issue?
I think it might be. I don't know if we're gonna have a rehost because of that. That's very. We haven't had that before, so I don't know what the decision will be. A Glorious gets the kill onto Joke. Now, in a very unfortunate 2 versus 4, are Mac and Mr. Gunter throwing out some of these flank drones for Joke to watch as they try to contest, or maybe waste a little bit of time to get their teammates back into the lobby. Greasy picks up a kill onto Mac, and that's now Mr. Gunter in a 1 versus 4. Greasy picks up the final one as well, and that round comes to a close, but I don't know if we're going to have a restart or just a
just a regular pause.
A timeout. Yeah, it was a timeout.
I'm pretty sure you can't go through with a rehost if the round has already started and you can.
Oh yeah, true. It was very, very late in the round. Yeah, I think it's only in the prep phase, or not in the prep phase, in the pick phase.
Pick phase. Yeah.
You are correct. So that is a very, very unfortunate loss there for Voltage. Basically a free round from Eternity.
Yeah. Very unlikely to happen again, but at the same time, it really evened out the score for now, because obviously 2 people left, so it gave Eternity a very big advantage, and they obviously were able to pull the round away from Voltage. But we're still very early into the game, and there's still a lot of time. So yeah, let's see what happens when these people come back. They might be a bit frustrated, or they might rethink and have time to talk about what they did wrong in the previous 2 rounds.
We're getting information that they can't reconnect, so this might be a rehost, and it will be a rehost. Yeah, that is really, really unfortunate there from Voltage. Or for Voltage, rather. Yeah, you really don't. But there's not much that we can do about that. Of course, it's just a server connection issue, I believe.
It's Ubisoft servers nonetheless. Like everything, like something is going to happen, something is going to go wrong, and that's not because of the physics law. It's just because we're playing in Ubisoft servers, so it's pretty much to be expected.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point. But I guess while we wait for the lobby to get reformed, let's talk about what we just saw there from Eternity. I was not confident that they would have that win. Of course, losing 2 players on the opposite team definitely helped, but losing that Thorn that early on, although she was not very important utility-wise at that point, for example, like a Warden would have been, she still was the sole contender inside of Office. So losing that Office control very early on and forcing the Warden to be by himself all the way inside a bedroom definitely was not ideal for Eternity, especially with that castle also getting pushed away. We saw just before the disconnection issue. The castle was getting pushed out of bathroom as well. So it was only the Warden still inside a bedroom contesting that top floor, and that was 30 seconds into the round. That was really, really bad form there from Eternity. On the other hand, it was really, really good pacing from Voltage to establish control that early on and to get that early pick.
So we're hoping that they actually pay some attention to that mistake, try to be a little bit more conservative of their lives that early on, since they have a lot of time to talk about it now that the rehost is taking place. I'm pretty sure they can either choose to go top floor or bottom floor now. So I don't think they're gonna go on the bottom floor this time. To be honest, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go on the top floor because it's just stronger.
Yeah, I do believe so. I think the basement site might have been, or the basement pick in the first round might have been to try and throw them off,
Yeah.
because if they get around because Voltage weren't ready to attack it very early on, then that frees up all three of the other sites, which are typically more primary sites. And that allows them a lot more flexibility. If you win, the least favorite site, then that obviously leaves a whole array of options for you. So that might have been the idea there, but I think it was just and that might have worked out, but the execution of it was a bit lacking, especially losing the Oryx pretty much immediately, and then the other two roamers having to pull all the way back down to the mid floor and getting pushed out by the vertical angles, and also getting bitten by Jackal the entire time. It was very difficult to try and hold on to that, and of course a roam is crucial if you're going to try and defend that site.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you. I think they are going to go top floor, which is a lot stronger of a site for defense. Still not very strong. If you lose people early, and especially if you lose that library control quickly, if we do get to see them going back upstairs, we'll be able to see that they will be. I hope that they will be defending onto the library as well, or extending onto the library with a shield, or maybe some Wamai magnets, trying to hold on to that position for as long as possible to prevent Voltage getting control of that side of the map, and then having an easier into the site. Of course, once you have that breach open and have a cover for the half wall plant, well, that is a bit of an issue for the defense if that is ever allowed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, judging from across Baby's plays, he might just pick Amaru again and rush through the kitchen hatch. It's something that I'm really looking at right now because you never know what he might do. A team like Voltage might have a lot of secret and crazy strats, and you never know what they will pull out of their hats. I'm just
Yeah.
hoping that we see something different. I don't.
Mhm.
Obviously, each team wants to win. They will try their best to win with the best way they can. But we as casters and the viewers at home would probably prefer to see something different and something that they would not expect. And at the same time, the enemy team won't expect either.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right there. And we saw something different, something that no one really expected. We saw it last night coming out in the Voltage versus Lumina game. If anyone missed it and you're watching right now, I encouraged it strongly last night. I encourage you to go back and watch the VOD of yesterday's stream. It was a lot of fun watching and casting Lumina Gaming and Voltage Gaming. It was definitely something else. I'll say that. It was definitely something else. But we are back in here again. Eternity versus Voltage. We are back on round 5.
Why did Voltage get a score? What? Oh no.
Oh, okay, they're trolling. Okay, right. Wait, no, they're another rehost?
Yeah, because Voltage has 3. It should have been 2 and 2.
Oh, I see. I completely missed that. I was like, oh, well, I guess we just get to talk more. I guess
Yay.
I'll reflect back on the game that happened yesterday. I mean, you were in that game. You played
Yeah, I
against
was.
Voltage. Can you walk me through why you were playing it like it was ranked?
I mean, if you let me know why you think we were playing that way, I might be able to give you some insight info.
Well, okay. So my sort of analysis throughout the whole thing was that because the Lumina's roster was so dismantled and it was made up of two, regular core roster members, and then three subs. That you didn't really have all that many strats that you were like that you had down to a T and that you understood how to play. So you were just playing the most basic strats, the most basic sort of like ranked mixed with comp strats, and then you were just being very aggressive on top of that, because it's not something that Voltage were really ready to go up against, especially in that first game on Oregon. They sort of caught on to it, and that's why we had it go on so long, all the way down to Cafe overtime. But yeah, I definitely think that was it wasn't a very, competitive league type game, or at least that's the way that it looked to me. But I guess maybe now that we have insider information from Ultra, maybe it's different.
I mean, you pretty much covered why it was yourself. I mean, yeah, obviously we have three subs and then Maggie and Zed who were the core members of the team.
Mhm.
And we wouldn't be able to use strats even if we wanted to, because we have never like screamed or dry run or
Yeah,
anything. What was his name again? Stroif, the entry that played yesterday. It
Yeah.
was the first time he ever played with his team. He thought it was gonna be a scream, and he got informed that it was gonna be a league game last second.
Oh,
So it's kind of funny if you think about it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that you like, especially. I'm not degrading T4 or anything, but because people have so much less experience in T4 compared to the other tiers of competitive play, players that have a bit more experience don't really have to use extremely weird or developed strats. You can only use defaults, and as long as you play them correctly, but like 100% correctly, you're going to win every time.
Mhm.
And that's why sometimes we didn't even use strats. You saw us like we probably rushed at least once per map. We rushed like
Yeah,
twice.
it was a lot
couple of
more than
maps.
once per map. It was a
Yeah.
lot more than once.
We were just trying to get to like catch them off guard, and it worked. Like most of the times, I think we lost one rush, and that was the one in Oregon. I think that I went in as we just rushed elbow, right? They were on bottom floor. I get the smoke, and then because the rest of the team, except for Mikey, was scared to go in through the fire, we lost that round. The two of us pushed into elbow and then died to a different person.
Yeah, that
But
was.
most of the rushes worked because we just got them off guard, and that's basically all about that there is in T4. You need to play smarter or catch them off guard. It's either one of the two.
Mhm. Well, it definitely worked because Lumen are the team that have advanced through the tournament, and we see Voltage here playing against Eternity in the fifth place decider. So since you played against Voltage, what is some insight? What did you gather from the way that they played yesterday that you think they might already be repeating here against Eternity, or are they playing a completely different game that you can't really dissect with your information?
Well, I don't think we played Chalet. Yeah, we didn't play Chalet yesterday, so I can't really see if they're using the same strats as they did yesterday. From what I can tell, they do play together. So like, I'm from what I'm sure that I saw yesterday, they mostly played like close to each other. They were in positions to get refrags, and that mostly happens here as well, except from like the Amaru rushing in Solarium every once in a while. Everything else, it just kind of feels like they don't want to get dismantled one by one, so they try to not isolate themselves. They want to get every refrag possible, or even not a refrag, maybe like a co-swing or playing off of contacts and stuff, which is pretty similar to what they did yesterday. So I'm not, I haven't even seen enough yet to be able to tell you, but from what I've seen, it's pretty much the same game, just they're playing against a different team.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was getting from them as well, and it's good to hear that from somebody who actually played against them and had to get into their heads a little bit.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, but I mean, if we get to map 3, it will be Oregon, which is a map that you guys played against each other yesterday. So that could give us a little bit of insight into whether they play the same game. Although I guess maybe Oregon, because Oregon was the first map and they were still trying to very much do the strat and go the default way, while you guys were just rushing and being very, very aggressive. But I think after that, especially on border, they really caught on to that aggression, and they were actually counter-aggressing onto you.
Yeah, they played really well on border. I can't deny that at all.
Yeah. I really hope that we do see Oregon because I want to see how Voltage plays against the team that isn't rushing and being silly and trying to just do the most to try and get a map in. Because I imagine the expectations were quite low about you guys actually getting through, which is what probably drove a lot of that. Oh, let's just rush, let's just do anything, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, what have we got to lose? We're made up of 3 subs.
Yeah, fair enough. That's we did have some sort of mixed mentality, but for the most part, we were trying to win. So that's why you saw us like we weren't just like being silly. Sometimes we actually just try to play smart. And
Yeah.
Toxin really helped on that because he used to be a player of this team and he's very experienced. So he helped with that a lot.
Okay. That is really, really good. But finally, we're back in here after the second rehost. That was a bit of a break. I hope you guys didn't mind our rambling about a game that's not even going on anymore. But we both were wrong. We called it wrong. Eternity are going back. Yeah, they're going back to basement. And I guess we're gonna see whether they learned from their mistakes and whether they're going to try and hold on to that room for longer than last time. Because
or
getting
just stack up on the same room as well, because that's one of the things that I say that they should have done differently. For example, you know what I'm talking about, like the Valk and the Alibi being in West Main. They should probably like try to alter that a bit so they will be in a position to hold cross angles and catch these attackers instead of the attackers catching them.
At this time, they opened up the hatch. I do not remember whether they opened up the kitchen hatch before, but of course, that hatch being open for them does allow them to fall back into sight should they need to, rather than being stuck inside of dining and West Main with no escape whatsoever. They are sticking with this frost pick, which after we've taken such a long break of I don't even know how many minutes, Voltage might have forgotten about the fact that they were bringing frost before. And that could be something that catches Voltage off guard, and it could be something to get them a couple of kills, or at least a lot of damage done onto the attackers.
Well, we see them pushing library, but they weren't expecting the Wolf, the Vigil of Wolf to be holding the angle from the Games Hearts, and that's how he gets a kill onto the Ace, which is probably the most valuable operator, because he's the only breacher. Obviously, they might have thought about that, and that's why they brought the breaching charges on the back, which is kind of like a B plan for them. But losing that Ace is going to be crucial for Team Voltage to actually get even more breaches. Now, they will try to get some vertical using the back. Since the hatch is open, the best thing that they can do is clear up the north side of the building on the middle floor, and that way they will have control over dining and be able to have a line of sight into the site themselves. But at the same time, they will get pressured by the attacker, so they will need to find a way to avoid them getting spotted. So that way they can hold their positions and not fall back from them. But from what I can tell, both of the players that played in West Main itself have dropped down now, so they gave complete control for the attackers over that side of the building. Thankfully, there's only 1 minute left, which is it's a really good time for a 5v4 for the defending side. Now the attackers really need to start picking up pace and clearing up people that are not inside, and there might be a threat later on, such as the Valk in the car garage.
The Valkyrie and car garage could really be causing issues. Mr. Gunter does pick up a kill onto a Glorious. That was the sole remaining roamer still inside of West Main. Mac and a Crossbow, they both pick up a piece. There goes one more from Mr. Gunter, and it's all down to Greasy Master. He does pick up one, gets immediately traded out, and Voltage with just an absolute collapse onto the site. Pick off everybody and get the win.
I did say they have to pick up the pace, and they literally did just that right away and got like 4 kills in 10 seconds?
Around there, yeah.
So that was exactly what they had to do. Just basically make Team Eternity crumble. They didn't have to be face to face with each other. All they had to do was assert dominance. That sounds kind of funny, but you get what I mean. And yeah, well played to them. That was very well played. One tip or one thing that I want to bring up is that Team Eternity did switch up their strat. Instead of staying in rooms like West Main and dying there, they tried to fall back earlier. But in my opinion, that was a bit too early. They had to waste a bit more time, other than just like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, or sorry, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Maybe try to waste around 2 minutes. That might be a bit of ideal, because as soon as you fall back into side, it's gonna be like 50 seconds left, and that's enough time for you to set up cross angles and hold every attacker's way of pushing the side.
10 seconds to go.
That's a great point. But I also think that
5 seconds.
them roaming and wasting as much time as they did, but not picking up any more kills, is also what hurt them. Because every time that you roam and you waste time, but don't really capitalize with kills on that, you could waste 2 minutes and still not be in a position where you can win. We see that happen a lot on Clubhouse, which is really, really set in that sort of 20-second meta, where we'll see a lot of the times it will be 20 seconds left to go. The hatches are open. It's a 5 versus 5. The attackers all drop, and it's just a bloodfest. That's exactly what happened here. Volta just collapsed onto the site, and even though they had the man disadvantage, they still were able to collapse and pick up the kills. Of course, they had enough time to do it, but also they had enough of a setup to go with it. Diddy's gets the first kill onto a crossbaby, still getting challenged onto by Mr. Matmac. There goes the trade from Mr. Gunter, and the
Same person,
man count
different
is
mister.
equal as, yeah, same person, different mister. Yes, and the man count is equalized pretty much immediately. A minute gone. And Eternity still have control over the library side, but they are getting flashed out, and a lot of this utility is being used to try and clear up that shield. Glorious with the flank up those stairs does get rid of the Iana and her grenades. They do pick up a kill onto Wolf. There goes a Glorious with another, drops back to site, and now it's a 2 versus 3 with the diffuser. Hold on the ground. I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah, I don't know where the diffuser is either. Oh, I think. It's not a lion?
No, I think they just dropped it so that they wouldn't die with it. I think that was the...
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I love to see the trades coming in from both teams, but now, wow, Greasy Master with a beautiful shot onto Mr. Matmac. Now leaving Joke in a 1v3. Watch out for the frost mat, there's none. He gets into the library. Well, he's kind of stuck in this 1v3. He can really not go anywhere instead of outside again. Because if he tries to push further into the building, there's gonna be crossfires set upon him, and that will make it hard for him to navigate. But now, while Mice runs on him, and Greasy Master gets the kill on him, setting one more round in the favor of his own team, making it a 3-3 with an even split.
Yeah, it's an even split, as you say, and that is a really, really good. That is a really good split here for Eternity to have as they're heading into the attack. Of course, Chalet is quite defender-sided in this league. I'm not sure how it's something around 50%. 50. Well, yeah, obviously. Around, I don't know. I think maybe 54, 55% is the defensive win rate for Chalet in the league. So Eternity having 3 rounds in their pocket and being on equal ground does put them in a good position for their attack. But of course, as long as they are winning rounds, the more rounds that they lose on the attack, the worse it is for them, of course.
Yeah, that's the best way you can put it based on of the statistics. And as we can see, Voltage have also picked the top floor as their first defending side. I'm not sure how to feel about that. Obviously, it's not the bottom floor, which most people find disadvantageous, but the top floor isn't the best side for most of people, so it's definitely something different that we see here. And I would love to see how this actually escalates.
Yes, and there we go. You see that they are defending the library side. I mentioned it during the rehost phase. it was an Eternity who went there. Oh, and a Spawn Peak attempt from across, baby, does more damage to himself than to Emiterm, who was his victim. Both.
But the damage onto the ace is always a good thing, because it's still the Breacher. Oh wow, A-Glory with a kill onto Across Baby. That's the Jaeger taken off the board. He played with fire and finally got burned. He almost survived it twice, but he couldn't make it till the end of it. Now, Eternity with a 5v4, and almost 2 minutes and a half left. That's a lot of time for the attackers to work with. Definitely putting Voltage in a disadvantageous position.
We saw Cross Baby be quite aggressive in the previous half. We see him be quite aggressive in a lot of games. He gets punished from time to time, and this is one of those times. The Glorious picks up another kill onto Mr. Gunter, and now these numbers are really not favoring Voltage. Diddy's picks up a kill onto Joke as well, who is just absolutely playing with fire, trying to peek onto those angles. Mamak might be the next one to fall, but is not. And Noisy all the way down inside a kitchen. Does have that C4 still in pocket, but that means that the site is almost completely vacated of defenders. And it will allow Eternity an easy in into site as that wall gets opened up as well.
Yeah, and can help to notice that Team Eternity got 3 kills on the attack without even getting into the building first, which means that Voltage are getting way too aggressive. That way, Zeewolf gets a kill onto Noise, and Greasy Master gets a final kill onto Mr. Mad Mac, and making it a flawless round for themselves.
Definitely a great beginning to their attacking half, winning the first round onto the primary pick for the defense is a great way to start. I can't help but wonder if maybe Voltage will try to do the same thing that Eternity did playing Basement in the first round, where they just maybe try to like catch them off guard and do something, less expected, and try to pick up a free round, if you will. But it didn't work out. So they are going to Bar Gaming, which is a much stronger site for the defense, and they're going to be holding it in a pretty much default setup that we see from most teams.
Yeah, there's 2 shields as well, so they're probably going to use one on top blue and one on the mezzanine area, below the pillar, or behind the pillar, probably. But yeah, as I said before, Voltage Gaming wanted to counter passiveness with aggressiveness. I don't know how that would work. I can get the vision of the Jaeger being very aggressive there because he didn't have enough HP, and maybe the second player dying to the Dokkaebi because he might have been unexpected there. Because obviously you won't expect someone to pick right after his teammate dies. But why the third player? Why not just fall back into side if you see that it's not working and continue being aggressive?
Yeah, I really would not be able to answer that question. I think Voltage was just trying to be a little bit aggressive, see if it works, and it didn't. So hopefully they're going to play a little bit more close to the chest. Although saying that, here's a crossbeam with the C4 prep, and this could pick up a kill, and it does. There goes Greasy Master, and there go 2 of the 4 grenades left on the side of Eternity. Of course, those grenades are absolutely crucial in trying to deal with that top blue shield as well as that mezzanine shield. Either one of those shields staying in place come that mid to late round, and is not looking good for Eternity. Not to mention that they have a man disadvantage now, and Across Baby scot-free is still lurking around.
This time he did still play aggressive, but he played aggressive with a more passive way. That way no one would be able to spot him, and he did get the first kill in the first 1 minute of the round, which is huge. And as you said, yeah, he got rid of the Yana, which is 2 nades out of 4. That's huge for the defending team. So let's hope that they keep it up right now. At the same time, Eternity were very quick to establish top for control, but the breaches came in a bit late. Still have a lot of time left, and they just need the sledge to be able to be in position to get the nades down. Now, they need to be aware of the same angle that A-Glorious got 3 kills from when they were on defense, and that's why they're not trying to be very aggressive on offense. I'm pretty sure that Moses is going for the flank, and he's not really spotted right now. Everyone is focused on the top blue shield.
They are now, as a few things come out, so there was definitely a drone there that Greasy Master was watching, and found out that Across Baby was trying to flank. Of course, Across Baby did fall off that flank, but he did waste a lot of their time in them trying to hold on to that flank and trying to counter it. So even though he didn't pick up a kill, he wasted a lot of their time, and they still cannot clear out that shield, either of those shields. But it's oh no, never mind. That's a smoke. I thought maybe that was the sledge behind on the shield. Across Baby going for that angle that Gloria's got a few kills from. They are trying to counter that angle, but again, even if he doesn't get a kill here, he's wasting so much of their time, and he falls back to site again, scot-free and safe. The attackers do collapse on into the library, but they do get picked off one by one. There goes another. Glorious picks up a trade, but now with 10 seconds left to go and no diffuser in hand, he's going to have to go push for site. Sees two of them, picks wrong, and Across Baby with the final kill of the round to pick up another one for Voltage.
You can keep thinking that Glorious will be able to get that many kills and trades in order to save you the round. You need to start being more confident in yourselves mostly. Like, Eternity is really falling apart as soon as they go for the execute. It seems like to me they don't have the crosses set up, and they don't have like a fully thought out plan. They just think of a basic idea. They don't try to make it a bit not complicated but advanced, and they just try to follow that basic idea, and that gets them killed one by one. It's like they're isolating their players instead of following crosses.
I am curious about Voltage going back into bedroom. The last time they played this, they were way too aggressive and they lost it. Which might be why they're, okay, well, we're just not going to be aggressive this time and we're going to win. But it's still, again, one of those less favored sites. It used to be one of the most favorite site for most teams. But then, of course, it got played too much and too many strats were there and you just got stuck. So it definitely fell out of favor to Bar Gaming and to Kitchen. So I find it interesting that they are bringing it again, and they're definitely treating it as a primary site pick over Kitchen. It makes me wonder whether, maybe they're not confident in the strats that they have, or if they're just trying to, do something new to try and maybe counter Eternity. I'm not sure.
It's definitely interesting that they go top throw though, because as you said, it's not very common to see nowadays. They did have Kitchen available to go to, but they just chose not to. So I'm hoping that they are going to use a strat that is going to win them the round. And right now, Eternity are using the same plan. They're trying to focus most of the players onto the library take and try to clear it first. While Sled might be going for an unexpected silent push up the library stairs. Maybe get the player playing in mezzanine. That way, he pretty much does. He gets the nade, but what a nice run out from Across Baby getting the Egg Glorious onto the Dokkaebi. That already it's such a fast trade that made it a 4v4 equal man count, while Seawolf gets another kill onto Joke, I'm sorry. And that was a Capcom trap? Yeah, Nomad got injured from a Capcom trap from Mr. Madmac while he actually finished her off. And Emitter gets another trade onto Noise, making it a 3v2 for the team of the attackers. Now, what else can you do? There's only one person inside, and I'm pretty sure that the attacking team is aware of the Mozzie, but he gets a beautiful shot onto Emitter, breaking the ace off of the round, and no breach ability is left for them. While he gets one more into Zeewolf, making it a 1v2 for Didis, but he gets shot down from the Capcom from behind. That was actually so fast. So many trades happened there. That's exactly what I was talking about. Both of the teams played it very well. Obviously, the defenders were way more disadvantaged there, but somehow they managed to pull it off because they were playing off of contacts, and they were just trying to play together instead of going for isolating themselves, and it really worked out for them. Wow.
Yeah, it really did work out for them, and as I said earlier, we see Across Baby getting very aggressive a lot of the time. He gets punished for it sometimes. This was not one of those times. His aggression really paid off, and I do want to point out across maybe when he got the kill onto from that run out. That
Yeah.
was a hard scan onto the attacker that was outside, and it makes me wonder if that had been, if a default camera had been left up outside.
I'm guessing that could be the reason for the rat scan, but I judging from Across Baby himself and how he plays, it might have been the Mosey drone that he brought outside in order to see if anyone is rappelling there, or maybe he already knew and just brought it outside to red scan and get the certain kill onto them. It sounds like an explanation to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought of as well. But Mozzie drones no longer last outside for that long. They die
course.
within 10 seconds, and we didn't see Across Baby get onto that drone. So and there goes Across Baby immediately
again.
with an early pick onto Diddy's. That was a spawn peek from the bathroom window. I think that was from inside of the bathtub as well to get the kill onto the Capitao as well, which is a very, very important operator. Of course,
that's
those
half of the
firebolts. Yeah, that's half of the breaches. Yeah, half of the breaches, the firebolts, and the smoke grenades as well to boot. So that is a really, really important kill there. While I was talking about Across Baby being aggressive before and it paying off, it paid off again for Across Baby.
So maybe they are trying to counter passiveness with aggressiveness. Since it's really working out for them, they will just continue doing that until it no longer works. And right now, it definitely works. And Across Baby is just a master at doing that, honestly, at this point. Now, they are aware of his flank, trying to flank the Thermite up the main stairs, but he doesn't know where the Thermite is exactly. Now holding a cross angle onto one another, but he's not aware of the Thermite in bar. I'm really anxious of how this ends. Now I see 4 from Mew trying to catch the player on vertical, and Across Baby gets the kill onto the Thermite. That's both of Eternity's breachers dead. There's no more breaching ability, and all they can do right now is actually push the side. Now that they know that Mosey won't be in there, it's a 3v4 inside. Mr. Madmark with another kill onto Greasy Master. That's Jackal gone as well. Now Z-Wolf gets C4 from below by Across Baby of all people, leaving A Glorious in a 1v5. He's in the bottom floor. He can't really do much. He's probably gonna try to go up the west main stairs. He gets spotted by the camera, but he does kill the kill onto the Mute. There's one in comes in kitchen. Does he know where he is? He doesn't. He gets another kill, making it a double kill for him. Now in a 1v3, he's just holding angles. Does he even have the diffuser on him? I can't really tell.
No, he does not. Tries to go for the hack on the cams, and it's Across Baby to get the finisher. What a round from Voltage. What a round from Across Baby. What was that? Wow. That's just disrespectful.
Well, the 2 MVPs of that round is Across Baby, and I think it was A Glorious on the Dokkaebi. So the 2 of them played really well. It was a nice attempt from the Dokkaebi. If she had the diffuser on her, she would have a lot of chances to actually win that round. But sadly, it didn't go along to plan, and now it made the score go to match point, which is basically means that Alternative have no chances left to win this match, except if they win all of the rounds in a row until they make it to overtime, obviously. But that's 2 rounds away, and it's really hard to win 2 rounds on a row, especially if you're on attack. But everything can happen. So I'm just excited to see how this rolls out. As we can see, Voltage Gaming have some inconsistencies in between of the players, because you can see that Across Baby is doing a lot of the work just because he's being extra aggressive and he doesn't let his teammate get the main kills. At the same time, Mr. Madmac was mostly there to get all of the refrags whenever he had to, but the rest of the players didn't even have time to get into gunfights, and when they did, statistically, it seems like they lost them. So that might mean that Across Baby is the high target here, and if they get a hold of him and kill him, then the score might change really fast and into the favor of Eternity.
You might be right there, but I also think that for some of these players like Joke and Noisy, they are playing that support role, hard support role, anchoring in sight. So by the time that they are typically in gunfights, it is already very late round, and they're typically outnumbered by the attackers. So it's a lot harder to get the kills when you are in a 1 versus 3 than when you were, just monkeying around,
Yeah, of course.
looking for those kills. So. But that could also be true. They could also be having just an off day, and if Eternity do target across, maybe they could get some rounds on the board. The attack has already commenced, and they have taken control of the top floor. That's a C4 that is blown. Actually, both C4s are gone, and across maybe taking a lot of damage. Noisy forced to push back. Oh, that's that same angle. Noisy forced to push back all the way to site, as is across baby, and they are going to be trying to go for this shield clear again, wasting a lot of this utility to try and clear it out.
How's the shield still standing? Wow, this is amazing to look at. Mr. Madmac was full wide for about 6 seconds there, but he's now getting pressured by 4 different attackers. I'm pretty sure there's people in library holding his back, and Across Baby is gonna go for the flank there, but they sadly have spotted him, so he loses that chance, while Noisy gets a kill onto Diddy's, and that's the Nomad off the board. I'm pretty sure she had used all of her utility, so it's really not that much of a deal, but it does definitely put Voltage Gaming closer to winning the whole game, or the whole first map, may I say. Mr. Madmac, though, still has the shield on top right, and they really need to take care of that right now, or change the way they push, because there's only 45 seconds in the round, and that's hardly enough to win the round for themselves.
Yeah, but the last time that they attacked onto this site, they no, I apologize. That was in the first half. Oh, and Greasy Master gets downed by that frost trap again. That might be something that Eternity have forgotten about. They do get the trade, and there goes the collapse onto the site. They get one. Can they get another? No, they're going to be going for the plant. It's a 3v3, equal numbers.
Seconds to go.
15 seconds left to go. Joke looking for a kill.
Drop the bomb diffuser.
The planter gets down. There goes a kill onto Wolf as well. All down to a Glorious. Gets one, gets two. Has to find a third. Knows he's in Fireplace. Oh, and that would have been the win, but it's the time that ran out and allowed Voltage Gaming to finish off the round and to finish off the map 7-4. What a round that was.
This specific map has had a lot of close rounds and a lot of close clutches and a lot of actual clutches now that we talk about it. And definitely was stressing to see that last round. It was very close. And I really was hoping for Glorious to get the round just because it would have been epic. But sadly, the time got the best of him and he didn't manage to get the last person. It was a very entertaining map. And now we're switching over to the second map in about 5 minutes or something. I think we're getting a small break for that.
Yeah, we're taking a break, but stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
S'il vous plaît. Fine young thing.
will be like to go to sleep and never wake up? Think about that. Children think about it. It's one of the great wonders of life. What will it be like to go to sleep and never wake up? And if you think long enough about that, something will happen. You will find out, among other things, that it will pose the next question to you. What was it like to wake up after having never gone to sleep?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Revival League Season 1 5th place matchup. My name is Retro, and I'm here with Ultra. Hello, Ultra. Are you ready for the remainder of this game?
I am certainly ready for the second map. And there's
yeah.
nothing to say right now. Like we've commented everything that we could for the last map. So right now we can only like talk about the other stuff, I guess.
Yeah, but just a short recap for those that may have missed the previous map. It was a 7-4 win for Voltage Gaming. They played on Chalet, and now they are looking to close it all out here on Clubhouse. The bans have already begun. Walk me through them, Ultra. What do you think of these bans?
So, okay, so Clubhouse is the map, and the first ban is Thatcher. Thatcher is very useful to take, or not actually break, but disable electronic devices like anti-breaching devices, or even like actual info devices like cameras and other stuff. And he would be probably used to breach sites like Master and CC. And that's a very good ban. And the second ban is Hibana, which is Hibana can be used anywhere. She can breach anything, and she can control how many pellets she actually uses, which means that she can manipulate the amount of pellets she has to open hatches or walls, or even just simple lines of sight that are just enough to be able to see through. And then you obviously have the Solis ban, which, as we said earlier as well, she can see everything from anywhere, but obviously there is a ratio. Or a radius maybe, but she can see devices, she can see the planter, she can see drones that as a Solus you are looking to roam, you are looking to find these drones and try to minimize and limit the visibility that the attackers have. And lastly we have the Cade ban. Lastly we have the Cade ban, which is Cade is mostly used for walls that Bandit or Mute cannot block, and that's walls like hatches. But you can obviously use Cade for any other kind of reinforcement. And obviously walls are the most common ones in general, but you can throw K-Close anywhere you like, as long as the wall you want to affect is within the radius of the K-Close. And he's a very strong operator for the bottom floor specifically. So banning him is a very good idea in my opinion. I personally think that Osa is a really good ban as well, because Osa can be manipulated in various ways, and especially in sides like CC and Master.
We see a little bit of that aggression that we saw on Chalet as well from across, maybe, where he was playing a lot of Muzzy actually on defense and going for those spawn peaks, going for that, a very aggressive playstyle. Tried to do it again, nearly got that spawn peak onto Greasy Master as well, with just a little bit, and both get away scot-free. Oh, but there goes a trade for Mr. Gunter and Greasy. Oh, no, it was Mr. Gunter trading from above. As they lose the mirror, of course, the mirror windows will have already been deployed by now, and they are now aware of Gunter's presence upstairs, which will certainly delay their push a little bit further. The cam spots Wolf, and there goes Mr. Gunter picking up another one, and that's their sledge gone. So a lot of that verticality is gone, especially as they picked off of the... Oh, no, the buck is there. They just switched the players that are going to bring him. So their only remaining verticality remains with the Buck of Glorious, and their attack is definitely stalled now, as they still haven't cleared out the two roamers on top floor with 90 seconds left to go. You see a little bit of aggression there
Wow,
from
what a
Joke
shot.
getting punished. And I think that's a C4 that has downed Emmy Term, or it might have been a vertical plate from across, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I think it probably would have been that C4 deployed, and there goes Noisy finishing what he started with the C4, and it's all down to Diddy's now in a 1 versus 3 diffuser in hand. Plenty of time still left to go, so this is winnable, but it's going to be very, very difficult. And of course, as he gets on drones now, his position is known. At least to Mr. Gunter, that will be a flank drone set up for his teammates to watch. There, he tries to put down a Claymore as well for good measure, but it's Mr. Gunter from inside of bar to finish off this round.
Well, yeah, once again, we see Voltage Gaming being very aggressive. They follow the same exact ideology. So that is countering the extra passiveness with extra aggressiveness, and it really worked out again. I'm kind of confused as to how Mira died first last round, but in my opinion, it kind of worked because for the price of 1, they managed to get 2, which is always a good deal, especially if you want to buy something. So that's really good. Let's see them keep them up. Keep it up. This time, that's something that we were definitely not expecting, as we were talking about across baby. It's Mr. Gunter to get 4 kills. And it's very nice to see, and it's very fun to see. Actually, now we see that the team is a bit more interactive with the leaderboard, and it's not just about holding the side down, but actually being able to get in different positions and getting kills for themselves too, which is really smart and really it's really good because it does relieve across baby a bit, and at the same time, the people that felt a little bit bored last game will be able to feel more alive now, and that way they will also warm up their aim in the process and being able to get on the leaderboard themselves, as I said.
And I think what you said in the previous map when Voltage started picking up steam is that they are countering Eternity's passiveness with aggression, and it paid off on Chalet, and it looks like it's going to be paying off on Clubhouse as well. Because rather than it just being a Frost Baby with Muzzy running around and getting kills, it's Mr. Gunter as well. As I mentioned him, he gets another onto Wolf, and that's the Sledge gone. Their soft breach is now completely eliminated. And of course, 2 of those grenades are gone as well. So this is really, really good pacing here from Voltage to deny as much of this utility and as much of this presence as possible. That construction wall will get opened up, and Aquarius cannot quite get the jacuzzi wall open. Of course, there is a trick to get it open, despite it being muted. But of course, there's a bit of a placement there, and you heard that Gaunt 6 go off as well. They had to waste the Gaunt 6 to open up the hatches. Of course, their Sledge was dead. Noisy tries to go for a C4. Aquarius is able to escape it safely, and with about 100 seconds left to go here for Eternity, we have stalled at a 4 versus 4.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad to see that Z-Wolf was sadly the first pick again. It seems like he's getting a bit unlucky, but I'm sure it's going to change any minute now. In the meantime, Greasy is holding a passive angle onto top red. Mr. Gunter didn't know about his position, and that way he falls into his fire. But Mr. Madmac is very, very quick to get a trade onto Didis, and that's the Lion of the board. I'm pretty sure he had more scans on him, which is kind of a disadvantage. And another trade coming in from A Glorious onto Noisy. That's the mute of the board as well. And that's a 3v2 for the attackers. Now holding some angles. Joke is getting aggressive there, getting shot down from Greasy. And Greasy gets the second kill, or last kill of the round as well, which is Mr. Madmac. A very close fight there with the Frost, but he managed to shoot her down, and that was fast. That was quite fast. Like, as soon as they established control over CC and Cash, they just all held angles and pinched the remaining attackers inside. But I like to see that there were so many not crosses, but like refrags happening for both of the teams.
That was definitely really, really good to see, and I think we saw a little bit of that aggression getting punished. Of course, Mr. Gunter was there was no reason for him to push out onto the CCTV balcony. He could have just sat there behind that shield, holding onto that angle and holding onto the control of over Cash. But when you're already in an advantage and feeling good, sometimes you get a little bit greedy. Sometimes you get a little bit too aggressive, push without a reason, and get punished for it. And that's exactly what happened to Mr. Gunter. We see him switch off of the Oryx and going for the Jaeger play instead, as a Crossbaby goes completely off of those aggressive operators and goes for one of the most passive operators in the game, Castle, to aid Noisy in trying to bandit trick, of course, that jacuzzi wall that was opened up quite quickly the previous round, and it opened up a lot of angles for Eternity to be able to push into sight and pinch the remaining defenders, as you said.
Something I'd like to mention is that I don't think they reinforced CC at all, except from one wall or Cash. Yeah, they only reinforced one wall in Cash, which does make it kind of easy for the attackers to get control over Cash. But obviously, there's still reinforcements in CC, 4 of them to be exact. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle for the attackers to get control over CC. But as soon as they do, Cash is going to be kind of vulnerable. And as we can see, it's only the Jaeger on the red stairs, and Castle is only able to hold a very far cross angle with him, which might actually lead to Jaeger's death. As we can see, Yana and the drone in front of her are clearing garage entirely by themselves. Spotting out the Jaeger now, they know exactly where he is and they have the perfect angles in order to clear these rooms out. Now, trying to get control over the shield and nade it over, and they actually managed to do so. Yana make it inside, and in the meantime, Crossbaby gets a kill onto 8 Glorious, and that's the ace of the board. And the only, not the only breacher, but one of the 2 breachers that they had on the team of Eternity. Now leaving Thermite with only 1 Thermite charge in his pocket, and the Jaeger is completely alive and untouched on the top of the red stairs. Now Yana is going to try and nade, but there's an ADS that catches the nade off guard. And honestly, there's only 2 people on that side of the building, so there is a chance for Jaeger to fight both of them off.
Yeah, there definitely is a chance to fight both of them off, and he will, as he gets rid of Wolf. There goes Greasy going down as well to Joke, the Frost, and suddenly it's a 2 versus 4. Only 1 line scan left in the pocket of Diddy's. No impact EMPs left to go. That wall is opened up, thankfully, for Eternity, but it is going to be quite the challenge, especially having to contest against that Mira inside a bathroom, and a limited information as well. They've only got 1 drone alive from Term, and that's going to take quite a while to try and get to a position where they are able to gain any more information. Should they even do that, I think that drone might even be a flank drone, so that's something that they can use actively. There goes the drop into the Logi. Term does pick up 1, but there's still 4 more to go. There goes the trade, and it's all down to Diddy's now. Diffuser lost inside of sight. Sees 1 on the CC window. Can't quite catch the kill onto that.
Now they're just contesting one another at this time. They're just kind of quick picking, but Diddy's does make his way over at the AC box and now swinging the CC window. That's a bit of time for him to talk with his team, but it's not enough to clutch a 1v4, not gonna lie. Someone runs out at the other side of the building, but is unluckily not in the same place as the Lion. But he does get shot on at the end of the round. That's a death that he probably shouldn't have gotten. Crossbaby getting the last kill with a cheeky little quick pick and repeat. I'd like to say that Jaeger, and especially Mr. Gander, is on fire right now. He hasn't stopped fragging every single round. He's on a score of 7-1, I'm pretty sure. That's really good.
Yeah, there you go. You were
7-1.
correct. It is 7-1. Yeah, that was a really, really good round there from Voltage, and this opens up their primary site of Church Arsenal again. So they are going to go back there, and the last time that they went there, they won it on pure aggression, coming out from a Crossbaby and Mr. Gunter together. I wonder whether we're going to see a repeat of that. I think we might, as a Crossbaby is picked back onto the Muzzy and Mr. Gunter is back on the Oryx. So this could be exactly what they are doing. My only question is whether Eternity will be still trying to go for that default attack, knowing how aggressive Voltage are, because a counter aggression that they might be trying to go for, as we do see them take the Lion and the Maverick, they could be trying to go for a dirt push, which of course would be quite an aggressive push, and it could gain them a round here if Voltage aren't prepared for it.
Akers may be going for that spawn pick once again, but this time that Eternity have read into that and they didn't spawn, or they didn't follow the path of the stairs, making their way into Junkyard this time. And honestly, the entirety of Team Eternity are on the Junkyard side from what I can tell right now, which is not always a bad thing. They might go for a cheeky little dirt rush. At the same time, Mute is nowhere near the side, but he can easily rotate through Oil Pit. Yeah, they do have a drone in there, and they are searching for players that could be playing close to the door. So what I'm saying might be the case. Right now, there's still some people over from the Voltage side that are roaming currently. I heard Across Baby shooting down the Yana, but he didn't get the kill. All he managed to do was still a little bit of damage. At the same time, he gets spotted from the Lion scan. Mr. Madmac going for a shot onto the Maverick, but he misses slightly and runs away with his life. It's better to be alive than being dead. Ace gets shot a bit as well, now having the same HP almost as Seawolf does, but still enough. It's more than enough to survive, so it was barely a gunfight to begin with. Mute trying to make some anti-vertical holes to try to get some attackers off guard, but there's no one picking them. While Christian Master gets a kill onto Mr. Counter, and that's the Oryx off the board. That's a 5v4 for Team Eternity, and 1 minute and a half left. Across Baby probably being unnoticed right now, gets a kill onto Z-Wolf, but Eclodus gets a kill onto Mr. Madmac while he gets traded out by Across Baby again. He goes for the gunfight onto the Lion and gets him as well. That's a triple kill in 5 seconds. Now going for another gunfight, but he decides to run down and play safe with it. But he does get the C4 from below onto the Ace, leaving Greasy Master in a 1v3. All of a sudden, the score has completely turned against Eternity. Now, is he going to try to contest against the Ace? He will, but he won't get the kill right away. He's getting shot. He's almost at the door of death, and he eventually meets his maker. Now, in a 1v2, Greasy Master will try to get a couple of kills. Will try to get Diffuser, reload his guns, try to be ready for the next gunfight, but he slightly runs over his shots and survives Capcan by a small second. Now getting smoked by the smoke as well. With that low of HP, he can't really drop because he's going to die right away. And now, as we can see, the defenders are holding a perfect cross onto the drop of the hatch, so he can't really do much, but try to find another way to drop, to push. With only 15 seconds on the clock, you don't have enough hope. As soon as he drops, he's going to die to either smoke or the gunfight, and he does die to the gunfight eventually. Joke getting the last kill and finishing the run off. Well, Across Baby is just built different. Oh my god.
Definitely built different. You stole my ace as Across Baby. Well, it doesn't really count as stealing the ace if you whiff on your final kill. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But in any case, Voltage Gaming put themselves on quite the advantage now. Secure themselves at least an even split on the half, which of course will be crucial for when we see the side switch and they go on to attack Copium. I couldn't agree more. What I do find interesting is that they are going for CC this time. Of course, they cannot go back to Gym Bedroom, which they won the previous time that they played it. Obviously, they cannot go back to Church as it is locked out. They just won it, so they are trying for the first time a tertiary site, which seems to be CCTV. Now, CCTV used to be one of the strongest sites, and it used to be the primary site for a lot of teams. But then, as we discussed before on Chalet, sites get overplayed, and there's so many strats start to come alive that the sites actually fall out of favor because at that point you don't know how to play it in a way that is new and in a way that actually helps you because teams figure out how to counter every single strat, so you can't really do anything.
Yeah.
Which is why we see a surge. Oh wow! There
If you
goes.
play
a kill
with fire, you get burned. You can't use the same spawn pick for the third time in a row.
There we
of course,
go.
that was expected to happen. As you were
But
saying about CC though, yeah, how's it called? Sites do get overplayed, and sites, and that way people adapt to them. And since Siege is a game of pace, if you adapt to something, or if the enemy adapts to something, you need to find something new right away. Otherwise, there's not gonna be a lot of chances for you. And now, since Voltage is in a 4v5 without one of the roamers slash monkeys of the team, you can't really you can't really depend on that aggression that they did on the rest of the round. So now they need to try to figure a new way to play this round.
yeah, they need to figure out a new way to play this round. I think that the rest of the team is going to be playing a little bit closer to the chest, and there goes Wolf, hearing Mr. Gunter creeping up those main stairs, and the advantage is now firmly in the hands of Eternity as more of those walls get opened up. A lot of that utility getting cleared out as well by Flores, and now the most crucial position for Voltage to hold on to will be that Raptors position held by the Azami. There goes Matt Mac with the first kill. There goes Emiterm going down, not before opening up those walls, however. So Emiterm, although dead, has done their job perfectly to open up those walls and to give as much control to Eternity as possible. Greasy picks up Matt Mac, and now Voltage, both on very, very low HP, are having to contest against 4 more players of Eternity with limited utility to go with. It will be Didis creeping up those red stairs, picks up 1 kill, and there goes Greasy Master with the final one to bring another round to Eternity. And that aggression from Across Baby and Mr. Gunter was definitely countered perfectly there by Eternity, and they put a round on the board.
Well, yeah, I did say that Voltage need to find a new way to play the round. Mr. Gunter didn't really listen, so he tried to go for a bit of an aggressive play, but he did get shot down from Seawolf. Seawolf had a really nice shot, I'm not gonna lie. It was a nice Spitfire there. But sadly, that cost Voltage their 4th round, or yeah, their 5th round, I'm sorry. Now, the score is still positive in their favor, which is always something nice to see. But something about Eternity is that as the attackers, as I've said before, I believe that they should have the upper hand in the attacking half. And as of right now, it doesn't seem that way. So I'm hoping to see that change real soon. I'm kind of scared that Across Baby is going to try to do the exact same on pick because he got shut down last time, and it might actually work this time. But I'm doubting he's gonna do that because I don't know, man. 5th time in a row, it's kind of cringe at this point.
I couldn't have said it better myself. But they are going back for Jim Bedroom, and the last time that they played this, Across Baby wasn't aggressive at all, went back to the castle, the aid in the bandit trick from Noisy, but this time he went right back to the Muzzy to be aggressive, and it will be another spawn peek attempt, or at least a late spawn peek attempt from the secret window. Doesn't find anybody. I think it was a little bit too late on that one. He could definitely hear people rappelling on top of him, and I hope he's not going to try to go for a run out there. Nope, he doesn't, as of course he gets spotted out as well down there, so he has to pull back. Doesn't pull back, and that CCTV wall will be opened up, forcing Joke to also pull back a little bit. Nothing like a little, minute already gone and still placing down utility from Joke. But of course, those Frost Mats could waste a little bit of time for Eternity as well, but they also could pick up an injure come late game if Eternity aren't expecting it. A minute is already gone, and I think this is the first round so far that this deep into it, we don't have a death.
Well, right now, Voltage have actually made their way into CC quite. I wouldn't say it was quick, but I'd say that it's still kind of soon. all they have to do is clear the Jaeger and the sledge and the Jaeger and the Frost. But the Greasy Master gets shot down from the Frost I was trying to name earlier, but couldn't for the life of me. And at the same time, Gunter is having a gunfight with the sledge, leaving him with 1 HP. Sledge decides to push up, and he does get shot down from Gunter at the end. That means that Voltage have the upper hand with 5v3 right now. That's both of the entries of Eternity Dead, and follows after a Glorious with the Ace, which means that there's only one Breacher left, and that Breacher has no utility of his own in his pockets anymore, since it has been used. Which means that they really can push a different way. They had opened up their own ways. They can use these ways and actually try to push the defenders. But having that much of a negative count will really put them in a bad place. Now Thermite tries to push the CC guy. CC guy is completely unaware and gets shot down from the back. Now making the man count a bit better for the team of Eternity. Pushing into Cash gets another kill onto the Frost, but there's a mirror window there waiting for him, and Mr. Matt does spell his death while Nomad drops from the hatch. C4 from below. That shotgun won't do much from that much of a distance. But you did survive that, Mr. Matt, so you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, that was a really great attempt there from the Thermite to try and push in and gain as much control as possible. I am concerned about how Mr. Gunter didn't hear the drop onto the CCTV balcony. That is a very, very loud sound cue. So that was pretty much a free kill there. That's something that Mr. Gunter should have heard. But as we wait for one of, I think, who is that? I don't know. As we wait for
it's
one
me.
of. Yeah, right. So every time I wanted to name somebody, they're already here, and I feel bad that I don't remember who else is missing. But as we wait for another member of Voltage Gaming to reconnect, it has really been rough out here for Voltage Gaming. This is the second time that they had a player disconnect. Of course, we had to get a whole rehost in the previous map. But we are looking on to round 7 now, which is the side switch. And we'll be seeing Voltage Gaming at quite an advantageous position, attacking onto Clubhouse with 2 rounds up on Eternity. So that is definitely going to be some breathing room for them to potentially, should they lose the primary site defense, they still have room to breathe. I always say that the amount of rounds that you're up by on the side switch isn't the amount of rounds that you have to goof around with and be aggressive or do silly things. It is the amount of rounds that you have that worst case scenario, you lose the round, not all hope is lost, and it is specifically meant for that primary site pick. For example, on Clubhouse, that basement site is very, very difficult to attack. So that is typically what teams will use their advantage, their round advantage for. It's like, okay, we're going to lose that, but then we're going to win the next few after that. But as I say that, I do see that Eternity are actually not even going to be going to basement. They're going to be going to gym bedroom first. And I wonder if that is the correct call. Again, basement being the strongest site on this map. I wonder if that is a good call from Eternity.
And I wonder how, I wonder why. I wanted to bring up the fact that Voltage Gaming having lost, or not lost, but their player disconnecting is not really that much of a deal this time, since it wasn't in the middle of a round. And at the same time, since it happens to land on the side switch, they have the ability to talk about them being on a different side. Obviously, that gives Eternity the ability to do the same. But it's good that they can talk about the side switch, and now they might have maybe have rethought the strats for attack and other stuff like that. So maybe we see a different Eternity or a different Voltage, or maybe we just see both of the teams play exactly the same way they did last map and this map up to this point. We never know. Now about them going on gym first, I don't really think it's the worst thing, because in my opinion, Jim is probably the second best side in this map, right? But Mira is a very important pick for this side, and I'm really glad that I see the Mira being played by both teams. It means that they know what they're doing for the most part. Now, there are some very default Mira windows that I personally also use, and they're using the exact same ones, which makes me happy to see. And at the same time, they do have a very. Both of the teams have had a very aggressive presence on top red, which will delay the attackers by a lot. And basically, both of the teams are using similar strats, which also means that both of the teams might have a chance and might have not a chance. Sorry, might have a thought of how to contest and how to play against that. So right now we're viewing two very similar teams playing against each other on the same map, and I'm hoping to see a different side of them instead of watching the same thing happen on the second half.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. We do see that Voltage have already established quite a lot of control. Of course, taking care of that garage allows them another into the cache side of things. And I think that was a vertical grenade. Yep, it was. It was a vertical grenade from Mr. Gunter to try and do a little bit of damage onto Wolf. Potentially get the kill, and there goes Greasy Master with the first kill onto Mr. Gunter. Across maybe is the next one to fall. They do get the trade onto Z-Wolf finally, but not before doing quite a lot of damage. There goes Greasy with another. They do get a refrag. Noisy picking up Emi-Term, and there goes Greasy with the third, leaving Noisy all to themselves. Both of those exothermics are gone. They have no more breaching ability. They do have the jacuzzi wall open, so that is really, really good for them, but they are going to struggle doing anything else. That smoke grenade gets swallowed by an ADS, so their push into the jacuzzi wall will not be possible. And of course, now they've waited too long. That ADS is recharged, and another attempt at clearing it out, or another attempt at smoking it off, will be shut down. That drone gets killed as well. And now with 50 seconds left to go, and very limited utility and very limited information, it's all down to Noisy. I think that this is probably a moment where Voltage are just taking time to discuss either this round or the next round, and just trying to think about it.
Maybe reform their whole ideology as well.
Yeah.
You know, Eternity did do that, because this round they were way too aggressive, or maybe not way too aggressive, but compared to the rest of the rounds, they played aggressive, which is a totally good thing. Now, what a shot from Noisy onto Didis, but he gets raided out by the Wamai. Is that an ace? That's a 4K for Chrissy. Not an ace, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, because Wolf got one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you're right. So, Eternity did change the way they play. They decided to be more aggressive. They decided to use this aggression that they've been getting from Voltage non-stop, and they used that against them, even when they had the disadvantage, and it worked. Especially Greasy, like not swinging out, but being so far off of the shield on top red and getting that early kill onto the Yana. It freed up so much space, and like it calmed their heads, because they knew they wouldn't be naded from below at all. They wouldn't be wallbanged from below or anything else. Yeah, they did lose the shield from the nade in Cash, but killing that Yana is crucial, because no one is going to push your behinds now. You are fully safe to do what you want, and what he wanted to do was swing everyone else, and he did swing the ace, and then he swung the guy on the window. He got both of them, by the way. No missed shots, perfect shots on both of them, and that way he just gave Eternity a whole round all by himself, all because he used that aggression against the team that made him feel frightened before.
Yeah, and to your point about Eternity picking onto Jim Bedroom first of all, I think it's also interesting that they because they won that side, they can now go onto the much more superior basement and try to defend that. But I do worry about Voltage perhaps being too aggressive again, as they are bringing that Ying and that Lion. No hard breach whatsoever. Well, they do have the can openers on the Buck, But that is about it as far as hard reach goes. So this is probably going to be a very, very aggressive push from. Oh no, they have the can openers on the Ying as
Ying
well.
as well, yeah.
Okay, so they do have quite a lot of hard reach ability, but I still worry about how they're going to utilize the Lion and the Ying in combination. Of course, it's a very, very strong combination to be bringing, and it's very, very deadly. So I guess we'll
I
have to
have
wait and
two
see.
thoughts, to be honest. It's either gonna be a dirt take or it's gonna be a late rush.
Mm-hmm.
And both of these explanations sound enticing. I want to see either one of them happen, and I'm sure that it's going to be spectacular. And as you said, since both of the operators have secondary abilities, or have the can openers for secondary abilities, they can get up to 4 hatches, which that doesn't even exist like 4 hatches in the middle floor. It's only 3 that you need to get, and they are planning to get all 3 of them. I wouldn't make the holes there back before you actually open the hatch up because they can easily impact your cube, but they didn't think about it or they weren't quick enough, which is a pro for you. So now, getting vertical, getting the hatch as well, back is already set for the whole round. All he had to do, or all he has to do is just stay on the hatch. Maybe they might try to go for a main plan from on the default in Arsenal, and Mr. Gunter does go in and gets 2, or doesn't even go in, he gets 2 from the blue stairs. Now just holding an angle and pushing up slowly, knows where one of them is and expects the Jaeger to be in a specific position, not gets the confirmation by the Jaeger killing the Mr. Madman, and he gets shut down from Mr. Gunter. That's a triple kill for him on the round, gets a 4th on the smoke, runs in, hoping to get the 5th for the ace. Now, they don't know where Greasy Master is. He's getting Ying. Ying might try to go in from the moto hatch and plant on the vending machine, but he decides to switch positions, run a bit, and Mr. Gunter gets the ace, actually. Wow.
Wow. Definitely great job there from Mr. Gunter to get that ace and to be so aggressive. Yeah, I think you were definitely correct in your assumption that it was either going to be a dirt take or a late rush, and it was not necessarily a late rush, but it was a sort of a delayed rush, if you will.
Yeah.
Especially once Mr. Gunter opened up pretty much the entirety of site, killing those first 2 people, and then also getting the kill under the smoke. So really, really
getting the
great
kill there.
executed. Yeah.
Getting these 2 kills probably changed Voltage's entire execution. And they were like, okay, you know what? Since Mr. Gunter got to these 2 kills, right? We know that 2 blue players died, and we know that everyone else is going to be inside by now, and they're going to be split up in both sides. So what we can do is let Mr. Gunter push them up from blue, and we're gonna go down main stairs or something like that, or hatch, and we're gonna go for the plan, and then another 2 kills literally just run at Mr. Gunter. So they were like, okay, now we're dropping and getting the plan down. That's exactly what happened. So it wasn't really a rush, but it was Mr. Gunter giving them the opportunity to just push for the plant. And that happened in, what, 20 seconds?
Yep.
Like, honestly, Team Empire style.
That's a really, really good mention there. That's definitely what happened. I will preface this by saying that what I always say whenever I bring this up is that Siege is not a game of kills. There's so many different things going on in the game, and there's so many different things that aren't displayed on the scoreboard that we see. You can only see the kills, deaths, and assists. You don't get to see how many drones somebody deployed, how many pings they put out, how many callouts they gave. There's no counter for that, unfortunately. But
oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's really clever. But a certain what's the word? We do have to mention the current kill spread on both of these teams.
Yeah.
You know, of course, Mr. Gunter and Across Baby, their aggression paying off quite a lot. But I think Eternity have currently found themselves in a problem where they're very much relying on Greasy, who picks up another kill to boot onto his previous 12. There goes another. It does get shut down, but not before doing quite a lot of damage. That's the ace and the Ash gone. Mr. Gunter shutting down another, or that's Matt Max shutting down another, and forcing Wolf to fall back. So that advantage that Eternity first gained from Crazy Master is immediately eradicated. And again, this is exactly what I was saying, that they might be relying a little bit too much on Greasy. They do finally pick up a kill onto Mac, however, and that is, I think, Wolf in a really, really good position to try and get another kill here if Mr. Gunter isn't careful. Now in a 2 versus 3. Oh, but it's
What a
Mr. Gunter.
shot!
Wow. Sees them last second, and now it's all down to the Warden and the Echo. That's a really good lineup, especially when they do have the HP advantage against these two attackers. But there's still so much utility left with both Mr. Gunter and with Joke, so this is going to be quite a round.
Wait, Lion is on cams, right? Okay, Echo's going for the flank, and he does get the kill onto the Lion. Though I don't know how Echo managed to do that as a 1 speed as well. But that freed up so much space for them. Holding the diffuser as well, he gets the last kill onto Mr. Gunter, winning that round by the grasp, honestly. Wow. Well played to everyone. I'm not gonna say this to make anyone feel lesser, but up to this point, it's been who is going to play better, perform better in between Crazy Master and Mr. Gunter on this second map, because they're both like popping off. They're both being very energetic and very explosive this match, because they're getting a lot of kills. They're being aggressive and they don't stop with that aggression. And then both teams have one more person to back them up, and that's Across Baby for Voltage, and as we just saw, A Glorious for Eternity. So except from just being support players, people can have a very great impact and frag themselves. And this is the perfect example of that. Right now, we're watching a very nice example of that, and I'm just amazed at how A Glorious managed to save that round. Obviously, Greasy Master really helped at the start of it, but then Voltage Gaming really picked up on that, like right away, got 2 trades, and equalized the scoreboard. So I want to see if that happens again, or if something changes now.
I would also love to see whether this is going to be a comeback round for Eternity and to equalize the score line. Oh, I sort of forgot that I need to keep talking. But I do I do find it interesting that we didn't even get to discuss it as we were just talking about Greasy, and a lot of action was happening very, very quickly. That was a very quick round, but we didn't even get to discuss the fact that they went to Bar Stage, which did open up Gym Bedroom for them again, which they went to first. And won the last time that they played it. I guess the opening kill onto Emiterm, that's the Frostgon, so oh lord. The utility has already been deployed, but Noisy picks up a kill onto Z-Wolf again. There goes Mac with a vertical grenade onto Greasy, and now it's all down to Glorious and Diddy's with far too much time left to go. There's a 3K for Joke, and a run-up from Glorious does grant him 1, but he's shut down immediately on the jump back in, and Voltage pick up another round, put themselves on match point.
That round just proves that, as I said earlier, you don't have to be an entry to get kills. You just have to play smarter than the enemy. And Joke just got three kills on the ace, I believe, as well, which is very entertaining to see. That round was also really fast, and something that surprises me a lot is that we went onto Master and Gym, which is a site that Eternity really shone in, right? They really destroyed Voltage, and now they just got destroyed by Voltage, which just means that every round can go in everyone's favor, in anyone's favor, I should say.
Yeah. And now they are going back to Basement, which last time that they played this site, they got pretty much demolished by sort of a mid to late rush coming up from Voltage, of course, with those Candelas, and of course Mr. Gunter just walking in basically and getting 3 kills very early on. Not very early on, but getting 3 kills very easily rather. So I hope that this is going to work out better for them. But we do see Noisy picking off of that ace and going for the Ying instead, so they're going to be going for a very similar, if not the exact same push here in potentially the final round of this map and matchup.
But keep in mind, Mr. Gunter really shone last time. He literally freed Voltage's game, Voltage's players to push into side when the enemy turns. Okay, Gracie gets a kill onto Across Baby. And as I was saying, if Mr. Gunter don't manage to actually clear up the pathway for his team, they might not be able to get around. While I was talking, Mr. Mac gets the trade onto Greasy Master, which means that one of the most recent threats of Eternity is now dead, and that might relieve or maybe help Voltage think in a positive way. Now, in a 4v4, 2 minutes left, it's a lot of time for the attackers to do stuff, and it's a lot of time that defenders have to hold their defenses up for. Now, Ying is clearing out the bar all by herself, and along with Pac actually, getting the huts open. They don't check the main stairs, while Emitem gets an easy kill onto Miss. How does that happen? You need to be way too passive for that to happen. You need to have like patience, and he did have patience. He just waited for them to run at him, and he got the kill like that. They tried to chase him down, but they just weren't fast enough because Capcom is crazy, bro. And now getting the but they did get the moto hatch open, which does open a different entryway for them instead of blue this time. Now Ying getting the flashes up. They might go for a quick attack, maybe. Yeah, Yana drops down and tries to challenge the Mira. But Mira does. Oh no, Azami gets the kill onto Noisy, and then A-Glorious gets a C4 onto Mr. Gunter, leaving Joke in a 1v4. These situations are way too hectic for me. Now he drops again. Does he get the kill onto the blue player though? He kind of fails to do so because there's only a couple of fanholes, so he can't really see much. He tries to swing. There's a lot of angles that he has to hold at the same time, and Emitter ends it all off with a drop shot. 2018 style. Let's go. Gets the kill onto the Lion and makes the score an easy overtime, I believe, right? Or is it
no.
5-6?
This is 5-6. This is
Okay.
the final round of regulation. It could all be over here, or Eternity could pull off a massive comeback here and bring us all the way into overtime. Potentially even trigger map 3. Who knows? But I think what 100% helped Eternity win that round was not just losing Mr. Matmac, but also the operator that they lost when they lost Mr. Matmac to the Capcan. That was the buck. So all of their verticality just gone immediately. They weren't able to open up any more angles. They weren't able to do anything more than they've already done. And in a disadvantage numbers-wise, all they really could do was just drop and hope for the best, and Eternity countered that perfectly. They're going back to bar stage this time. The last time that they went here, they won it very, very spectacularly with that glorious flank with the Echo. It wasn't looking like it was going to be their round, and then they brought it back. It was a very quick round. We didn't really get to discuss the site setup all that much. So let's try to get it in now before the round is over again.
I mean, they have the Echo. That's kind of self-explanatory. Echo can do everything with his drones. Not just give info, but also stun people. And especially if someone is trying to plant and you always pass his head, he's not going to be able to plant the diffuser for the bomb, which makes him really powerful. But now, as you can see, Brava has already hacked a couple of Melusi gadgets, and who knows how many other gadgets he has as well. Which means that one by one, Brava is trying to get the gadgets of the defenders onto her side. Now, Chrissy Master is playing the same position with the same operator, which is Azami, which means she can indeed block off angles, doors, open walls, and anything you can imagine, honestly, which really makes it easy for her to block off attackers and maybe even create angles for her to look through. Now, he's getting pretty heavily pushed because she is in a power position. If you don't kill, or if you don't clear the top floor, you can't really push the side at all because there's holes everywhere, and there's ways for the defenders to just kill you while you're trying to plant. And obviously, having the Echo on their side as well makes it twice as hard. But from what I can tell, Brava did steal one of the drones, and Z-Wolf gets a kill onto Noisy. That's the Thermite off the board. And that's the only breacher they had. There's no other breaching ability in the team of Voltage right now. Azami does break the hacked Echo drone. And now in a 5v4, Voltage need to pick up pace and try to get a couple of refrags real quick, as quick as they can. Diffuser is down in kitchen. Is it in kitchen or in?
No, it's Logi.
It's in Logi. Nice shot from Joke there, getting Wolf, and Mr. Mad Max falls into the up by getting a nade onto Greasy. There's only one player on the top floor, and he does get shut down as well. That's a 4v2 for Voltage. Only two players in the side of Eternity. Now keep in mind, Echo is still alive, and there is one Echo drone up. But there's a lot of time for the attackers to clear up as much as utility as they can, and maybe even kill the remaining players meanwhile. You never know what can happen. Now, Emitter has gone unnoticed on main stairs, but he will eventually try to flank up, and that will be a close encounter for Mr. Gunter. That's the exact same position he was last round as well, but he makes the position known by shooting zones up. Now, Mr. Gunter does to pinch him in a corner, and he has successfully done so, while Echo did try to pull off the same exact flank, but sadly this time he couldn't. Now, getting a beautiful shot onto the guy dropping the hatch. There's one planning in bar. He managed to kill him while Emitter gets a kill as well. But Across Baby gets the last kill and finishes the whole best of 3 or match for short by killing the Echo of A Glorious. Now Voltage Gaming winning with a 2-1 or 2-0 even. Very close game. What do you have to say about very hectic.
It was a very, very close game, for sure. That was really really unlucky there from Glorious to not be able to get that round win. That was I don't know, something like 5 seconds left to go. That would have been dare I say a glorious clutch had that happened. But yeah, it was a great try there from Eternity. Both of those games, they really played their hearts out, and Greasy Master really tried as hard as he could to hold on to that team, but unfortunately it was just not enough, and it will be Voltage Gaming settling into the 5th place of this tournament so far. I mean, yeah, that's all that there really is to say about that. We saw them play, and they couldn't do everything that was necessary. Well, I think that was us. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you Happy again for observing. Thank you Ultra for joining me in this cast. It was great fun. Yeah. Yeah, we will see you all again tomorrow. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a good night.
Silent in the dark, waiting for the spark. The wood soaked in the blood, their hands join in the mud. The ember gently glowed, the spark took to their clothes. The flames kept on rising higher. They stood in the fire, burned with desire, love and emotion. They dance with devotion. tighter than before. They still want something more. The heat dries out the skin as their patience grows thinner.